তে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়াছেন আমি, যে মন ধর্মতে সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়া তব নিদান কোন মহাজনে কোন মহাজন পাঠাইয়া দিলে পাঠাইয়া দিলে তুমি। A wicked mind brought me into this world, O Lord, but one of your pure and elevated devotees has come to bring me out. Doya kori more patita dekhiya kohila mare gaya. Doya kori more patita dekhiya ওহে দীনা জানা শোনো ভালো কথা, ওহে দীনা জানা শোনো ভালো কথা, উল্লসিত হবে হিয়া। He saw me so fallen and wretched, took pity, and came to me saying, "O humbled soul, please listen to this good tiding, for it will gladden your heart. Tomare tarite Sri Krishna Chaitanya Navadipe avatar. Tomare tarite Sri Krishna Chaitanya तुम्हें को तो दिन ही न जाने, कर लेना भव पार, कर लेना भव पार। Sri Krishna Chaitanya has appeared in the land of Navadvipa to deliver you. He has safely conducted many miserable souls such as you across the sea of worldly existence. Vedera pratignya rakhi bharatare rukma varna viprasuta. Vedera pratignya महाप्रभु नामे नदिया माताया, संगे भाई अवधूत, संगे भाई To fulfill the promise of the Vedas, the son of a Brahmana, bearing the name Mahaprabhu of golden complexion, has descended with his brother, the Avaduta Nityananda. Together they have overwhelmed all of Nadia with divine ecstasy. Nanda Sutta Jini Chaitanya Gosai Nijanama Kurira. Nanda Sutta Jini तारी लो जगत तुम यो जाइया, लोहो निज परित्राण। Sri Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, the son of Nanda, has saved the world by freely distributing his own holy name. Go also and receive your deliverance. Sekata shuniya asiyati nath तुम्हारा चरण तले से कथा सुनिया भक्ति विनोद कांदिया कांदिया आपन कहे नि बोले आपन Oh Lord, hearing those words, Bhaktivinoda has come weeping to the soles of your lotus feet and tells the story of his life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की, श्रीनिवास पद्मावती वेंकटेश्वर बालाजी की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurohu Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So welcome all of you for this Nityananda meet together. Very nice. More than 120 devotees have come, I heard. You want Sanskrit or the English one? This one, which one? This one is all right? Okay. So we'll recite the shloka, okay? And then we proceed. Tatra kirtayato vipra viprarisher bhuri tejasaha aham chadyagamam tatra nivishtasat anugrahat soham vashravayishyami yatha adhitam yathamati. So in this session I am planning to share something with you on overcoming distraction. How many of you think it's an interesting topic? Isn't it? So, as we are living in Kali Yuga, a very dangerous age, and whether you are a devotee or not, everybody is victimized by the snake of distraction. So, therefore, I thought it's a useful topic. So, two Prabhujis, two Matajis can recite the sloka, please. Tatra kirtayato vipra, like that in the same raga, yeah? Tatra kirtayato vipra. विप्रऋषेर्भूरि तेजसः अहं चाद्यगमं तत्र निविष्टस्तत् अनुग्रहात् सोऽहं वः श्रावयिष्यामि यथाधीतं यथामति. One more devotee. तत्र कीर्तयतो विप्रऋषेर्भूरि तेजसः अहं चाद्यगमं तत्र निविष्टस्तत् अनुग्रहात् सोहम वश्रावयिष्यामि यथादीतं यथामति. Mataji. So, see which is the word I have highlighted here. That means rapt attention. That's the meaning of nivishtas. Rapt attention. So what he is saying, Sutta Goswami here, Tatra kirtayeto vipra. There was one very great vipra, Brahmana, who was glorifying the Lord in that assembly. Who is the Brahmana is talking about? Shukadeva Goswami. Viprarshir Bhuri Tejasaha. He was a very Tejasvi personality, very potent and powerful, and very influential, because he was only a young boy of 16 years old. But even his own guru, Vedavyasa, was sitting in the assembly. And the guru's guru was also sitting, Narada. And many, many great saintly people got up and offered him obeisances when he arrived. So he's a very, very great personality, Shukadeva Goswami, he says. Aham cha adyagamam tatra. I was also present at that class, he's saying. And how did I hear his class? Nivishtastat anugrahat. I heard with rapt attention, he says. And how could I get that rapt attention? Tad anugrahat, his mercy, he's saying. By his mercy, I could hear his class with rapt attention. Sa aham vaha shravayishyami. Same thing what I heard in his class, I am going to share with all of you, he's saying. Shravayishyami means I will make you hear. Shravana, from the same word it comes. Shravayishyami. Yes. Yatha adhitam, yatha mati. As far as my intelligence goes, because every bird can fly to different height in the sky. Sparrow can fly to some height. Crow can fly to some height. Eagle can fly even much higher. Swans can fly much higher. Some birds can go from North Pole to South Pole also, correct? No? They migrate during the season, certain seasons. So, I am a tiny neophyte bird. So, I will repeat as much as I can as far as my intelligence goes. Same pastime, same shloka, many of us we have experienced that we have our limited capacity and realization with which we can explain anything. So, he's very humbly presenting like that. Even the great Brahmana. Nivishta means perfectly attentive. Please repeat this one. O learned Brahmanas, when Shukadeva Goswami recited the Bhagavatam, there, in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention. And thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. Yeah. So purport by His Divine Grace, says Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki. One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of the Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Shukadeva Goswami. So there is one verse in Bhagavatam which says, Vicharasi Uruswanaha, it says, which means Krishna emerges from the pages of Bhagavatam and smiles and plays his pastimes in the eye of the mind of a devotee who studies Srimad Bhagavatam with great sincerity and devotion and faith. Then that verse says that Vicharasi Uruswanaha, it says, which means the directly presence of Krishna will be felt by those who study the Bhagavatam. And who sees Krishna in the Bhagavatam? One who is searching after Krishna. They will find Krishna. Because in this world, you get what you are looking for. Like it is said, Radharani, wherever yatra yatra netra padi, there is one shloka which says, wherever Radharani's eyes fell, suddenly Krishna became Surit on that spot. I'll show you one picture, I'll show you. You can see this picture. Radharani is going to fetch water from Yamuna. Wherever she is seeing, Krishna is manifesting on that place, behind the bushes, on the wall, the top, in the bottom, everywhere, wherever her eyes are falling. She is looking for Krishna and she gets Krishna. Similarly, we all get what we are looking for in life. So, now what was the point here? In the pages of Bhagavatam, we will find Krishna if you are searching for him. Even in Mahabharata, for example, you're reading Mahabharata, Ramayana, if you have curiosity to see how is Krishna interacting with Pandavas. Yeah. Actually, you are all Krishna conscious devotees. So your approach to studying any Purana, any scripture will be from a Krishna conscious spectacles. You agree? Like for example, I was reading in Mahabharata when Pandavas were in the Lakshagraha, and there was an assassination attempt made on them. Correct now? By Duryodhana and sons, and those Duryodhana and his brothers. So when they put the fire, did they die in that? No, they went to the Suranga arranged by Vidura. Correct, no? But then somebody else had come to that palace, that place. Some 5 kids and 1 mother, they died. They got roasted in that. They were sleeping in the veranda or somewhere, they got roasted. And it was thought of by everybody that Pandavas died like that. So there was a Shok Sabha there in Hastinapur, where Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana were loudly crying that we lost Pandavas. And the most amazing thing in their pastime is Krishna and Balram also attended Shok Sabha and they also cried. When I heard that, when I heard their crying, I was laughing just like all of you. Because for us, Krishna Balram are very special, isn't it? Unlike ordinary people, because ordinary people don't know who they are. So after you have understood Krishna Balram from Prabhupada, anything they do becomes very pleasing to our heart. Similarly, when Pandavas went to the assembly where Draupadi's Swayamvar was going on, there was a place, Brahmanas, then Kshatriyas, then Vaishyas, Shudras. They were all different people given different places to sit. They had the sitting places. So the Kshatriyas were coming one by one. There was 1-inch gap while hitting the fish. Or some people had a hairline gap also. Some of them were very close to the target, but they could not hit the eye of the fish. It was a moving target. So, and also you are not allowed to see it directly. You have to see the reflection in the water and then you have to hit it. So it was a pretty difficult task it is. So Kshatriyas, none of them won. So the king, the father of Draupadi, was very worried. If no Kshatriya is capable, then who will marry my daughter? Then the announcement was made, is there anybody from Brahmana side? One Brahmana got out. And all the Brahmanas were very happy. And he walked in the front. And then he picked up the bow and arrow, he stretched it. Within a short time, he hit the target. And everybody cheered and clapped hands, and especially the Brahmanas took the Rangavastra and they were rotating. They were very happy. Somebody from our side has represented us. Kshatriyas were feeling very offended, very unhappy that such a shameful thing. Brahmanas are supposed to study scriptures, and they are hitting, and we are the losers. They were feeling very unhappy about that. So at that time, Krishna Balram were also sitting. So, Balram was asking Krishna, "Hey, Kana, do you know who is this?" Krishna said, "Who doesn't know?" Who doesn't know? Because this is Arjuna. So Krishna Balram knows who they are. Actually, Krishna Balram would have desired also that Arjuna hits the target and Pandavas get married to Draupadi, correct now? So when we read Mahabharata, as soon as you see Krishna Balram coming, immediately your antenna is on. Oh, what is Krishna doing and what is he saying? And because everything he does is very pleasing to our heart. So, therefore, he says here that one can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. If one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Shukadeva Goswami. One cannot, however, learn the Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning the Bhagavatam. You know that famous verse, Nivritta Tarshair Upagiyamanan Bhava Ushadat Shrotra Mano Bhiramat Kavuttama Shloka Gunanuvadat Puman Virajyeta Vina Pashugnat. This verse says, first line says, Nivritta Tarshair. Tarshair means material desires. Nivritta Tarshair means one who has become freed from all material desires. Only they can speak Bhagavatam, he says. It's a very big qualification to speak Bhagavatam. So now the topmost of the material desires is a very strong leaning for sex life. It's not a question of you are married or not married. Those who are in the brahmacharya order, Prabhupada says they are attached. They are attached and detached, he says. And those who are in the married order, Prabhupada says they are attached, he says. And the sannyasis are detached, he says. So, those who are in the married order, they have attachment, but attachment can be purified by regulated lifestyle. Like husband and wife come together, they put up a family, then they beget children, they raise children in Krishna consciousness. They also have an altar, they worship the Lord, they offer the bhoga, they do a lot of Krishna conscious services. So, a man and woman come together to marry with the two goals. And one goal is, many boys and girls worry that my spouse should be a good devotee so that, I won't have to struggle with my Krishna consciousness. I will get help. That is one part of the heart. And another part of the heart is, there is also a joy that, there's a joy that we will enjoy. Like as soon as Radhanath Maharaj was telling, on the day of marriage, people come and give you gifts, small and big gifts. You are very curious what is inside each gift you want to see. But later on, you take out time to open and see it, isn't it? So many people come and give you gifts. Many people embrace you. They click photo with you and they congratulate you, appreciate you and everything. So Maharaj said it's a day of joy because you are receiving so many gifts and so many good wishes and so many blessings and so many praises and so many click, so many photos. You become VIP. You become on that particular day. At the same time, Maharaj said it is not only moment of joy, it is also a moment of responsibility. Marriage is a moment of, what is the responsibility? That is regulated lifestyle. That is the responsibility. So, yes, it's a combination of joy and responsibility. So, when a man and woman are attracted to each other, when they come, the vicinity of the member of the opposite sex for the first time in one's life, and living with them and begetting a children and putting up a family and raising them gives some pleasure to any conditioned soul. But eventually one will understand that this is not the real pleasure. The real pleasure actually, when they mutually help one another, assist one another. If you read the book Third Partner, there's a very beautiful article on how husband and wife should be in Sattva Guna. Actually, if a husband and wife are sacrificing to each other and helping each other, and if they are polite and they are respectful, they are tolerant, they are patient, and they behave in Sattva Guna, then it is a very sweet home it is. It's a home sweet home, as we say. And then in that platform, Krishna consciousness becomes very smooth and easy to practice. Otherwise, if we bring our lower natures of arrogance and harshness and selfishness and argumentative nature, quarrelsome nature, demanding nature, expectant nature, so all these things actually makes husband and wife develop bitterness towards one another, and husband thinks instead of going home at 7 o'clock, he'll go at 9 o'clock. Because I don't want to go home. And the wife is feeling she's fed up, he's fed up. Then the family is a bitter family. So therefore, one should try to make things better or bitter. Better, isn't it? And for that, Sattva Guna should be practiced. Like Rama and Sita relationship is ideal. Therefore, we read Ramayana. You understand how Rama had relation with his brothers, with his wife, with his father and mother, with Vanaras, with Rakshasas, with boatmen. So when you read that, it's like soothing scripture it is, Ramayana, when you read the relationships. So therefore, Prabhupada says, if you enter the family life with this much enjoying mentality, and this much service mentality, this much suffering is there. You understand? That means if the enjoying component is more, suffering is also more. If the service component is this much, one is thinking, I simply want to be a Krishna's devotee, but at the same time, I can't be a brahmachari in the temple and just spend my whole life. I have some feeling for my parents. I want to take care of them. And if I marry, if I get a good devotee girl, she is serious, I am serious. We both want to go back to Godhead. And now you will meet one family. Sarvatar Prabhu will come. Whatever I am speaking as theory will be practical for you. Yeah. So So when you think like that and then both parties are entering, so that means their service mentality is more. And little bit enjoying mentality is there, which by regulated lifestyle gets verified very easily. So here is a secret actually, seva bhav, and seva vritti and bhogavritti. So bhogavritti should be gradually minimized and removed, and seva vritti should be increased. So, and then we can become Nivritta Tarshayar. One example of Nivritta Tarshayar in Grihastha Ashrama is Ambarish Maharaj. गृहेषु दारेषु सुतेषु बन्धुषु द्विपोत्तमस्यन्दनवाजिवस्तुषु अक्षय्यरत्नाम्बरणाम्बरादिषु अनन्तकोशेषु अकरोत् असन्मतिम्. If you refer this verse, you will find Griheshu Dareshu. So it says he had palaces, huge palaces he had, and elephants and horses and queens and children and gold and silver and inexhaustible treasury and everything. Living in the midst of all of them, he lived like a lotus in the middle of kitchen, the middle of muddy pool of water. Absolutely unaffected. Kingly royal life and luxuries did not enter his head because Krishna had already occupied his head. There was no place for anything else. Krishna only had place there. So that is the meaning of Nivritta Tarshayar. Whether you are a brahmachari or a grihastha or a sannyasi, whoever it is. Even if a brahmachari or sannyasi is very materialistic minded, then they are not Nivritta Tarshayar. Nivritta Tarshayar actually means, material opulences don't affect you, don't attract you. They go to the background. Only Krishna attracts you. Then Nivritta Tarshayar. So that is the secret of learning the Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn the Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn the Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadeva Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam, that is the process and there is no alternative. Sukadeva Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the very same message which he received from the great learned Brahmana. So two people are unqualified to speak Bhagavatam, he says. One is a professional reciter, another one is a speculator. One should not hear from professional reciters who fix a charge for the Bhagavatam, 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees. They are simply money-minded people. They entertain the audience, speaking Rasalila and things like that. Neither is the audience qualified to hear it, nor is the speaker qualified to speak it. But the speaker anyway speaks it because then only the audience will be entertained. Actually, in such saptahas, they even put some dance also where Radharani and Krishna are meeting and they're moving their hips and moving their whole body and like that they show many things. Very sensuous kind of thing, dressed sensuously and moving. So they show it more like an amorous activity rather than blossoming of the spiritual feelings in the heart. So that is professional reciters do such things. That is absolutely condemned by Prabhupada in several places. And another person is speculator like Dr. Radhakrishnan and others. Prabhupada says those who keep Krishna away and they present their own opinions. So we should not hear from those two people, he says. And then he says, Shukadeva Goswami presented the Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. So also Sut Goswami is presenting the Bhagavatam as he heard it from Shukadeva Goswami. Simply, here comes a very important point here. Who has the mic with you? Can read this? Anybody has the mic with you? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word.
That means we should not just hear. We should hear with proper attention, he says. That means, hearing attentively. Is my sound proper? Is coming or going? Coming. So, hearing with proper attention means, sometimes what happens, we are physically present but mentally absent. Understand now? Like you are hearing, after 5-10 minutes, mind went somewhere else. Afternoon we have to go there. There's a Rath Yatra today, we have to go. I hope it doesn't become very late. Prasadam is only at 4 o'clock. The mind is worrying about the lunch. If your lunch is too late, I will die, mind says. So mind is thinking something, and then devotees laugh and immediately ask the neighbor, why everybody is laughing? What happened? So one has to give a proper attention. Prabhupada is saying, don't be physically present, mentally absent. Give proper attention. Actually, taking attention is very important. What is the meaning of that? Like one Russian devotee was telling me, he was in Mayapur. Every day he used to go to Goshala through a particular road, and there was something written there on the board. Because in Bengal, everywhere you have something written like, some series of jalebis, like that. You don't know what it is, Everywhere like that, they write. So he never bothered to know what it is. He was just going through that road. But on that particular day when he was going, suddenly he got a heavy pressure in the bladder. He wanted to release water, release past urine. So he thought maybe this is something about that. So one Bengali devotee was coming, immediately asked him, please tell me what is this? What is this? It was written, Sulabha Shauchalaya was written. So that fellow told, this is what this, he said. Immediately this devotee ran and finished his business, washed his hands, leg and came out. So on that day, I happened to be in Mayapur. So when he met me, he told me, see, although I have gone through this road many days, I didn't pay attention to this. But when I had a need, at that time I paid attention. So this teaches us one very important lesson. Kali also had several times heard glories of Krishna from his wives. Did he pay attention? When did he pay attention? After Krishna danced on his head. Correct, no? After that, Kalia's wives are speaking and he heard very attentively. So when one is put in a very traumatic situation, then one is very attentive. And then you will find when Kalia says the prayers, most of it is repetition of what his wife spoke. You will see that. Because what he heard earlier had gone like this and gone like this. He didn't remember. Now he was very attentive. Same with Ajamil also. When he heard the Vishnuduta's speech, spoken to Yamadutas, he was hearing with what attention? Rapt attention. Because it was very much needed for him at that time. So then the attention is like very sharp. One wants to someone. Similarly, same with Parikshit Maharaj hearing on 7 days. Because his death is going to come on the 7th day. The attention is very high. So, similarly, you will find that when you have hunger, the prasadam is very delicious. Correct, no? And when you are not hungry, you go and call a devotee, Prabhu, it's 2 o'clock, or you're not coming for prasadam. He will turn and ask you, what is the menu today? That means he's not hungry. Because he's thinking, then he will come there. Some people look at different items, what all are there, and then just say, pick a little bit this, because they're not hungry. A hungry man means, before time he will come running there. Come with the plate and load the plate and go and sit. Without any speech, you will just finish everything. Correct, no? Similarly, you will find those who pay rapt attention means they have hunger. So in Tamil, there are 3 terms which I like very much. One great poet sings is Pasittiru, Tanittiru, Vizhittiru, he says. 3 things. Pasittiru means have spiritual hunger, he says. Then you will be able to absorb Bhagavatam, read more and hear more and absorb more. And Vizhittiru means be awake, he says, which means be conscious in whatever you do in spiritual life. Don't be unconscious. For example, in the Kunjibari temple in one of the days, I went to take Charanamrita. So one devotee served Charanamrita, I drank it. After that, it was a cold winter season. I showed the hand, that fellow poured chill water in the hand. It was like as if taken from the fridge. You don't like it, correct, no? Then he said, what to do, Prabhuji? It's winter season. He said, okay, see, season is winter season. I told him you could have heated the water little bit. No, imagine you heat the water and serve the devotees with that water to wash. Everybody will wash the hand and bless you. Prabhu, wonderful. Thank you. And some will even ask you, please give me a little more. Very nice, correct, no? Because they know that you are very conscious to their needs. And then after that, I went to wipe the hand in the cloth. And that fellow who's holding the cloth like this, practically eyes closed, is just holding like this. And I saw the cloth, it was dripping with water. Then I asked him, Prabhu, what is this cloth for? I asked him. He said, this cloth is for wiping after washing the hand. Like that he said. Then I asked him, see, if I wipe in this cloth now, are you confident my hand will be dry? He never thought, yeah, more weight. So, what he told me, he said, Prabhuji, what can we do? Clothes got fully wet. What can I do? I said, call the manager, get me 3 clothes, I said. Keep 3 clothes. After one is fully drenched like this, what you should do? Put it and take the another dry one. When that is over, that means you are a conscious devotee, correct, no? After that, I went to pick up the flower. And flower I saw, they were all little blackish and very small. Flower you seen, no? Not a cheerful flower. Huh? And I was shocked. How can you offer this to Prabhupada? Huh? I immediately called the manager and said, hey, are these flowers smiling or crying? He said, you know what he said? Answer, Prabhupada, this is what we get in the market. He said, what can we do? Whatever we got, we brought. He said. Then I gave a punishment. Next 6 months, I want roses every day. I said, immediately that's impossible. They said, why impossible? No, we cannot spend so much. One rose is so costly. Prabhu said, no, this is a punishment. You have to get roses now. Then they found out some sponsor in the congregation after that. I said, every day you offer rose, you remember that I offered black flowers, very dry flowers, like small face flowers. They should be cheerful flowers. See, I am giving you examples for consciousness in spiritual life. We are putting the heart in whatever we do. We can't afford to do it unconsciously like a dead person, So, therefore, he is saying that simply hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention, he says. Yeah. Actually, how do you know that you are hearing with proper attention? It will produce thrill in your heart when you recite the Bhagavatam. Parasparan kadanam pavanam bhagavat yashaha mito ratir mitastushtis nivrittir mita atmanaha. 3 things are produced if you hear Bhagavatam attentively. He says, what is it? He's saying, mito ratir. He's saying, the devotees who recite Bhagavatam together, sitting in a group, just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Gadadhar Pandit. These are the people sitting there. You must have seen one picture, 7, 8 of them. And Gadadhar Pandit is reciting Bhagavatam, and all are hearing. Mahaprabhu is hearing. So, mito ratir, it increases affection of devotees for one another when they recite Bhagavatam properly. And mita tushti means they become satisfied completely. And nivritti means they become free from all sufferings which are produced from material desires. So, in this way, 3 benefits of reading Bhagavatam are mentioned there. Parasparanukataram verse. So, one must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivishta means that Suta Goswami drank the juice of the Bhagavatam through his ears. Generally, you drink juice through the mouth, but this juice is drunk through the ears. There are verses in Bhagavatam which says, one verse I will tell you, Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja ase shrute kshitapato nanunata pumsam yad yad dhyata vurgaya vibhavayanti tat tat papu pranayase sadanugrahaya. See, the second line says, Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja. Hrit saroja means your lotus heart. Your heart is compared to lotus. Ase means the super soul stands on your heart. On the lotus of your heart he is standing. Ase, how he stands? He says, Shruta Ikshita. He is saying, Shruta Ikshita. When you hear the Bhagavatam and see the world with that spectacles, called Shastra Chakshu, if you agree to do that, then very soon you will find Lord standing in your heart. See, Lord is standing in all of our hearts already. It's a known fact, Antaryami. But we will not see him unless we hear the Bhagavatam and see the world with that from that vantage point or from that perspective. Like he says. So, Aste Shrute Kshitapato Nanunata Pumsam. And there's another verse also where he says similar thing. He says, what is the verse? Ye tuttvadiya charanambuja kosha gandham jigranti karna vivarai shruti vata nitam. See, vata means wind. Shruti vata nitam. The sound vibration from the Vedas is carried by the wind. What is that wind? The sound vibration emanating from great devotees. That sound vibration carries the fragrance of dust particles from Krishna's lotus feet. And how do you take that? Fragrance you generally take through the nose, but this is taken through the ears, he's saying. He's saying, Tvan Bhakti Yoga, sorry. Yetu Tvadiya Charanambuja Kosha Gandham Jigranti Karna Vivarair. Karna Vivarair means ear hole. Shruti Vatanitam. So it should be taken like that, he says. So in this way, the word Nivishta means Suta Goswami drank the juice of the Bhagavatam through his ears. Vayam Navitropyama Uttama Shloka Vikrame Yatashanvatam Rasajnanam Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. At every step, the Bhagavatam hearing is becoming more and more nectarian. So they are saying Rasajnanam. So Rasa is actually the most delicious beverage of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Is intoxicating for us. Please continue speaking, they are saying. So that is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. Now here comes the most important point. This is a golden purport which I have chosen today. You can see this. Read it. Anybody who has a mic with you? Anybody has a mic? No, the secret? No, in the mic. You have to speak in the mic. The secret of knowing the Bhagavatam is mentioned here. Please all of you repeat. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing and mating. This is the most important sentences. So, I will explain this a little bit. See, no one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind, he says. That means if you are pure in mind, you can give rapt attention. Now, how to become pure in mind? Okay. Let us talk about that a little bit. Remember these two examples. See, when our mind is impure, it is like a mad elephant. The mad elephant can lift and throw a scooter, or it can destroy a car, correct, no? It can chase after people in the forest. You might have seen some videos how elephants can be very dangerous sometimes. They're short also in case. What's happening? Is loud and clear? Okay. On the other hand, a good elephant, even children are not afraid of a good elephant. Child can go and give a coin and the elephant accepts it and gives Ashirvad. You've seen that? Yeah. And then they can touch the trunk, they can beat on the side of the elephant. They have no fear. Children also, you can see that, because it's a trained good elephant. Some elephants even pick up the children and take and keep on their back also. Some in Mayapur, they have this, elephant procession on Saturdays. You've seen that? Yeah, Radha Madhava is sitting and we all are walking with the elephant. We have no fear. Trained elephant it is. Correct? Yeah, and trained elephant can even pick up logs of wood in the forest and bring it and put it in the lorry. So it can be, actually, elephants are human-friendly creatures. You can walk an elephant on the road, even a majestic elephant, right? Correct? It's a trained elephant. Have you ever seen them, they're walking a tiger or lion on the road? You don't see that. But elephant you can see. That means elephant is a trainable animal. Our mind is also trainable in the same manner. So we want our mind to be like a mad elephant or a trained elephant? Trained elephant. Similarly, out of the two, flood and dam, which has energy? Both have energy. See, Flood has kinetic energy, dam has potential energy. Both have energy. Okay, out of the two, which is destructive energy? Flood and dam? Flood. So one doctor says that if you become extremely angry with somebody, you're breathing heavily, it is equivalent to running 5 miles distance. That much energy is expended by you. So in this way, similarly, like Duryodhana was very greedy for the land, correct, no? Even in the absence of the Pandavas. See, Pandavas were in forest, Duryodhana was in city and holding the kingship of the whole world. But who was happy, Duryodhana or Pandavas? That's the most amazing thing, right? See, Yudhishthira Maharaj was lying in the floor in the forest and hearing the chirping of the birds, recitation of the Vedic mantras, the holy rivers flowing, and the Brahmanas, saintly Brahmanas, giving pure words and of advice and suggestions and everything. And every day morning, yajna, puja, and all such things. And Arjuna was increasing his skill sets and talents, going to heavenly planets, getting celestial weapons and all. Bhima went and made allies with Hanumanji. So they utilized the time very well. They were not wasting their time in the forest, not passing time. Were they doing time pass? They were doing pastimes with Krishna. They were not doing time pass there, the forest. So they were very intelligent, Pandavas, very happy and peaceful. And most importantly, they were peaceful because of the good advice of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira told them, coming 12 years, you forget about kingship and all that. We have to finish off our term. This is dharma for us now. This is what is ordained for us. We should do it. And they followed it very nicely. So in this way, you will see. On the other hand, Duryodhana was sitting in the throne, but he was always breathing heavily, always hatching plots. And in case Pandavas come back after 12 years, what to do with these guys? How to send them back again? Some or other we should finish them. And so his heart is always throbbing, greedily, having unhealthy comparisons of wanting to put down the Pandavas. So that means he is losing energy like a flood. Correct, no? So we don't want a greedy heart or lusty heart or angry heart, which will be like a flood, which has energy, but it's a destructive energy. On the other hand, the dam means like a constructive energy. You conserve the energy. So for making ourselves like that, see, these are very important for training the mind. Regulation in what? The famous verse. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So, in the regulation, so this is called regulation. Yeah. Actually, if you overeat, what we will do? Oversleep. If you oversleep, Prabhupada says you become fat, eyes become bloodshot, and instead of every day you sleep 8 to 10 hours. And Prabhupada, one lecture says amazing thing, do you know? He says, ideally 6 hours you should sleep. Some boys are sleeping 8 hours. And some boys have broken the record of 8 hours, gone to 12 hours sleep. And Prabhupada says, as your sleep approaches 12 hours, you become Kumbhakarna, he says. I was wondering how? Kumbhakarna sleeps 6 months, I thought. And Prabhupada says, no, totally 24 hours a day. In that if you sleep 12 hours, then you are 50% you are sleeping. So you are Kumbhakarna. That means 6 months in a year you are sleeping. Then you are Kumbhakarna, he says. So those who don't want to be Kumbhakarna, only 3 months in a year you have to sleep. which means how many hours? 6 hours. Yeah. Correct, no? If you want to throw away the title of Kumbhakarna. Don't want. So, sleep 6 hours or maximum 7 hours. Some of you may need 7 hours. 6 hours is and then rise early. 10 to 2 sleep is very important in the night. 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. How many of you have seen the video? 2-minute video is available. You've seen that? Yeah. Why top-notch CEOs of Apple and other companies are rising early. Who has that video clip with you? You have it with you. Anybody? You have it, Prabhu? You have it. You can give the link to coordinator. Where is our Anuj Prabhu? Is that? Anuj Prabhu, he will give. You can take it from him and send it to all devotees. They will enjoy seeing it. It's not produced by us. It's produced by some karmis, but very valuable, short video, 2-3 minutes video. Actually, after seeing that video, many of you will think, now I have to sleep early and get up early. Immediately, in a short time, it will produce that conviction. So, Prabhu, you can, Anuj Prabhu, right? Yeah. So that's about sleeping. And eating moderately is also very important. I have one clip by His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. I'll give you that. It's only 5 or 7 minutes clip. If you hear that, my Lord, you will immediately become very careful about eating habits. Maharaj says, ज़्यादा नहीं खाना चाहिए. Maharaj speaks about that. ज़्यादा खाने से मन और बुद्धि विकीर्ण हो जाता है, आलसी पड़ जाते हैं, सेवा भी नहीं होता है, बुद्धि भी भ्रष्ट होता है. Very strong. It's only 7 minutes it is. Slowly Maharaj speaks, he will really give injection. So you take that from me. It's only audio only it is. You can take that. That is for eating one. And the sleeping one he will give you. Yeah. And then we go for harmless recreation. Actually, we are running short of time, I think, isn't it? 12:30 we have to finish. 12%. So one video I'll show you. One short video. But you have to watch it attentively and then I'll ask you questions, okay? Sound is coming? Observed it nicely. So let us see what all habits you found. One right fellow was doing right and second fellow was doing wrong. Huh? What the first habit you observe? He is eating salads and he is eating chips, potato chips, and his stomach is paining also. He's doing like this in the belly. Correct? No? That's one thing you observed. And after that, you observed that one fellow is doing exercise and this fellow is kicking it away. Correct? No? When he's going in the car, so one fellow is choosing book, some book to get like you have Bhagavad Gita audio book, you hear it, then you become more wiser by learning it. Whereas that side person, what he was doing, huh? Always he was choosing radio, hearing some movie music, and all that he was hearing. Correct? He was doing that. After going to office, there was a big stack of work to be done. So this fellow, seeing that work, he was like overloading. He wanted to have a change, so he went to YouTube. Correct, no? You saw. Whereas the right person, what he did? He took little work and to-do list he was ticking. That means work is getting done. Although you can't do everything, you can do little by little, work is going. So he was not tempted to go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube, it's an ocean. Millions of videos. How many of you experience of getting lost in YouTube? Correct, no? We all experience, isn't it? Sometimes curious. Sometimes some people get into animal kingdom. They watch. Like one devotee was telling me, Prabhuji, these birds are dancing so beautifully, you see. Or this, how tiger is chasing after a deer, as African safari and all that you see. And some people see that, some people see some cartoons, some people, get into video games and things like that. You can get easily lost nowadays. Very easy to get lost. So he got into YouTube. So, and then that fellow was not going to YouTube, although the temptation was available. What he was doing? He was choosing to do the work. So he gave priority to work. So he was tick marking. To-do list was getting done. So these are some things I observed. Anybody want to add to this? You saw anything more? Phone call, yeah. When phone call comes, that fellow cut. You saw that? He's smart. He knows that I don't want to waste time with useless phone calls. Which means he must be segregating important calls from unimportant calls. Whereas this person, what he did, he always picked up the phone call and he ended up talking for a long time. Because there are some people who have a habit of talking very long. Like I don't want to mention any name. There is one brahmachari in our ashram. Sometimes he is in bathroom and he's coming out of the bathroom, you are going in. When he talks, almost 40 minutes he will talk to you. Standing on one leg. Can you imagine? So initially devotees didn't understand that. Later on they found out that this fellow has a very talking nature. So you go to bathroom for a bath, it becomes 1 hour for you. Because this fellow talks. And some people don't know how to get out of that. Somebody is hooking you and talking to you. He says, this, and this, and, this, and they put many ands, so many. So you get lost in that, correct, no? So what do you do then? Then what you have to do, you have to say, Prabhu, I'm getting pressure, I have to go. Allow me to go. Or if you are coming out, you have to say, Prabhu, I have a program now. We will talk tomorrow. Very interesting talk. We'll talk tomorrow. You have to cut it somewhere and go. So this fellow got lost in phone. Another observation he must have made. There are the two people, if you see, one fellow, he goes to the party, sitting with that boy and girl. He is also drinking, talking, chatting, spending time in the club. Whereas this fellow, if you observed it, he is not sitting at all, if you see. When his friends are calling, he's going. How many have observed he's standing? Correct, no? You are standing. Standing means he went there. Hi, he said that, wished them for 2 minutes and pushed off. Smart fellow. And he doesn't waste time there. He knows if I hang around, I will lose my time. Correct, no? That was one thing observed. And what else you observed? Yeah. So the fellow eating junk food and all that, so that fellow became fat. How many of you observed that? Yeah, he became very fat. Almost triple size he became. Whereas this fellow was thin, slim. He was slim actually. So he could maintain his body very nicely. So these are some of the habits. And why they are showing repeatedly, do you know that? Why 3 times they showed the same thing? When you do it every day, you get into that loop. and it becomes your second nature, and you just can't get out of it. You get used to that. So we all have to, all of you devotees, we have to make a list of our activities from morning to night, and take a red pen and round up those habits which you feel are like that other fellow, what we should not do. I've already started doing. So it's very, very helpful. Like, the biggest problem is what? When you open the computer, you know, the problem with this computer is internet is already attached, inbuilt in this. What do you call that? Modem is inbuilt in this. So as soon as you open the computer, net is connected immediately. Then what happens? Then things which you need to get from the net, like emails and things like that, immediately become curious. But in some places, you have to connect a wire to that. What do you call that? Landline. So don't connect. First do all your important work and then you connect. Because the moment you connect, then you are likely to be seeing many other things also. So anyway, you all know what I'm talking about. Like tiger is hiding behind a bush, and that's where there is a in a body of water where the deer has to come to drink. Similarly, computer is the place where we have to do good work, as well as it is the same place where we get distracted. Correct, no? So distractor is like a tiger, and our good work is like the water body, and we are the deer. You understand the example? So how many of you are deers who are caught by a tiger? And still we are sitting here because in this distraction, what happens? We are half eaten by tiger already. Half we are still alive now. So if you want to get out of the tiger's mouth, we have to kick off the distractions. So therefore, I have said that go for harmless to Krishna consciousness recreation. Eat moderately. Don't eat junk food. Eat proper prasad, and then sleep early and rise. This is about regulation. And in discipline, the big achievement, if you can do that. You know, we have to give you a gold medal for this. If somebody can do this every day, yeah, if you can do this. A simple formula: morning for Krishna, daytime for office, evening for family. A evening for family doesn't mean you're just sitting at home and chatting and with the family. No, you can take the whole family to some program also. Husband, wife, children. You go for some weekly once or weekly twice program. One weekly program you can attend. One weekly program you can give also. That is also with the family. Say husband and wife are hosting a program. Wife takes part by cooking. Husband takes part by speaking. And then all the people come to your home becomes very colorful. So many Vaishnavas come and decorate the house. And then you feed them prasad and give them a lecture and kirtan. So one day you are giving out preaching. Another day you with your family go to some senior devotee's house and then hear a lecture. So that is also a family time because you are going with the family and your wife meets her friends, you meet your friends, and then the children meet their friends, correct, no? It's a very nice experience it is. So 2 days in a week you take out with the family. And one morning in a week, like say Saturday morning or Sunday morning, you come to temple with the family. Whole morning program, 4:30 to 9:30. That is also, it's a family time and devotional time, both. Similarly, two evenings, one evening for your own program and one evening for attending a program. So in this way, that is also counted as family time. But apart from that, every family requires attention for the children's study, for planning for the finance, and solving the problems in the family. So those other evenings will be required for that also, the family. And if we don't do our chanting in the morning properly, or if we don't wake up in the morning, then we struggle with some of the spiritual part of the duties in the evening time. So our life becomes very messy. So we need to we need to have a discipline in this. Another very important aspect discipline is don't spend extravagantly just because you are earning well. Because if you don't save, even after you become 70 or 80, you still have to work. If you really want to save money and then relax after 50 or something like that, then you spend time in Krishna consciousness. You have to save a lot. Don't waste time. Don't waste your money. Mm. And of course, saving doesn't mean you don't give any charity to temple. That's where you want to cut. Actually, minimum 10% everybody should give. Minimum. Actually, Prabhupada says something else. What he says? 20, 50% he says. Actually, you just put 50% anywhere. In folio, you go and see hundreds of hits you will get. Of 50%. So many congregation devotees used to ask me about this. So what I told them in those days, say if you are drawing, say, 1 lakh rupees, for example, per month. So you make 2 accounts. One is your personal account for the family. Another account is Krishna account. So in Krishna account, you put monthly how much? 50,000 you put it there. And from that you spend everything devotional. Like you want to go for yatra with your family, you spend from there. You want to make an altar, you spend from there. You want to feed prasadam to people on one day of the week, for that money you can take from there. You want to buy dhoti kurta, take from there. Anything devotional, you want to purchase, you take from there. And also in that 10% you give it to temple. Only 40% to keep in the Krishna account. From that you keep spending. I told this devotee, do for 1 year and see how you feel, how much is that. At the end of the year, he said, Prabhuji, still in Krishna account money is there, Prabhu. Now I did from January to December. I have not been able to spend that money. Still it is there. I said, okay, don't worry, you can give it to temple after that. Because you couldn't spend it devotionally. So give it to Radha Mandavan Chandra, you give it. And then you live on this thing. In that 50% also, which you are supposed to spend, you don't spend everything. In that, say, 25% you put in saving, other 25% you spend. That means actually many families can live easily in even 25,000, 30,000 rupees, but they spend 60, 80,000 rupees because of extravagant spending. Actually, for that, husband and wife have to sit together and think, where are we spending unnecessarily? See, nowadays, if you go in Uber, Ola, it's very costly. You go from here and come, 2,000 is over. Money is over. So then one family was telling me, what to do? Uber, Ola costs are high. I said, don't go out only. I said, unnecessarily don't. Why to go out here and there? You go for one evening program where it's walkable distance. In your own colony, there is a program held there. Or you hold one program. 2 evenings are gone in that. Correct, no? Other 2 evenings, sit with the children, sit with the wife, family. And if you want to go out once in a week, if you go, then allot some money for that. So, therefore, we can learn from Anandavandan Prabhu or Shamru Prabhu and devotees like that. How to save money. No extravagant spending. So, we should not. So, that is also, a discipline. So, check your bad habits which follow your money. Some of us have certain habits which take away our money. You have to check. I'm not saying you are smoking or drinking. Devotees follow the 4 regs. They will spend money. But can you name some habits which devotees have which follows money? Who can say? There are many. Yes, Prabhu? Yeah? What is it? Branded? Branded items, he's saying. They want to buy branded items. Okay, what else? Govindas. Big expenditure. Yeah, what else? Big house, he's saying. See, you can live in a 2 BHK, but then you want to take a 3 BHK or an independent bungalow. Yeah? Anybody else? Yeah? Luxuries, yeah. When you go from necessity to luxury, you have to spend a lot. That's true, yeah. Yes? Costly electronic gadgets. What can be done with simpler gadgets? You go for a costly electronic gadgets, then you spend more money. Right now, what you can do something in 20,000, you go for 80,000 one. That's how you spend. Because you think I'm earning money. Say, it's not that I'm not earning, I'm making money. Why not spend? But this is how, if you plan with your money, then you save money. Actually, husband and wife should be one-minded in this. Then only they can save money. If one out of the two parties have a hollow hand, whatever water you put goes down. Some people have a hand like that. So, Discipline is required, yeah. Same with dress also. Some people have a policy that every Diwali, every New Year, every Janmashtami, we also have to get a new dress. And yeah, then if you have new dress purchasing policy several times in a year, a lot of money goes in there, correct? No? Yeah, let us see who has the maximum sets of dress here. We will see. Who has any of you would like to suggest a number? Anybody has 25 sets dress you have? Okay, 20 sets? Anybody? 20 you have. Okay, he has 20, yeah. Anybody record break? You crossed 20? How many? No, you only 15. 15 pairs. He has 20 pairs. Anybody? Yeah, yes? 60, 60. Yes, 60 pairs. Real record break. Okay, let us see who has the minimum number of pairs. Anybody who has the minimum? Anybody less than 10 here? Anybody? Goswami, who are the Goswami? Many Goswamis here. They have less than 10. Amazing. Isn't it? See, now I gave a practical example now, correct now? You can have extravagance in dress, in eating, everything. So this is like discipline. You got an idea now what I am saying. Actually, disciplining habits also. Yeah, that also is discipline. So I told about regulation, discipline, and habits. I already showed you a video. Already showed you. You got an idea, correct now? So you learned about regulation, discipline. See, regulation means sense gratification is allowed, but in a regulated way. For example, in temple they give you, everybody will get how many gulab jamuns? 2, huh? How many? Huh? Only one only? Yeah, that's only one. That is called regulated. Correct, no? But many of us may want to have one more, but you have this local lecture, what others will say, I can't ask more. And then you tell the server, after everybody is over, in case it remains. You tell him like that. So that is called regulation in eating, eating, sleeping. So, sometimes grahasthas, what they do, one family calls another family in the morning to wake them up at 4:30. And then they call this family, this family, this family. Finally, the call comes to this original family from where they start. Then they know the loop is complete, means everybody's woken up. They do like that. So some 5-6 families, they make a team kind of thing. They wake up each other. So we can do something like that to wake up in the morning. Okay, we got some idea about... Actually, one thing I didn't get time to speak today is about concentration and distraction. That will need some time. Actually, these 3 are very important things we have discussed about training the mind. Actually, if we train the mind well, then mind can be like a good elephant. Correct, no? Yeah. So, what I could not speak is about... these are all I told you how to avoid the distraction. In concentration, there are 4 A's. I will write the 4 A's and I will conclude. See this one. Concentration means these 4 things put together. Actually, unless you have attraction for something, you can't pay attention to it. So therefore, the spiritual life is a little difficult for us because we don't have a very strong attraction at the moment. So we have to associate with devotees who have a very strong attraction, advanced devotees. By their association, actually there are linear versus triangular attraction, we call it. How? Linear means, for example, you are here and bead bag is here. So you are not attracted to bead bag so easily. Because once 16 rounds are over, bead bag is separated from you, you are separated. You want to be liberated from the bead bag. Correct, no? And here there's a gulab jamun. You feel attraction. Immediately pick up and put in the mouth. So you find this is called linear attraction, we call it. Triangular attraction means what? You are there and you see there's another devotee and that devotee is greedy for this object. So you see him always taking the bead bag and chanting, always reading Bhagavatam, always dancing ecstatically in Kirtan. So You see this person and you see this, and this person's attraction you see. After seeing that, you become inspired by this person, then you pick it up. That's called triangular attraction, we call it. So, in Vaishnava circles or in Karmi circles, in both places, this triangular attraction works very powerfully. For example, those who drink liquor also, they will always want to make a team of friends also. You've seen that? They say, chalo yaar, we'll go to club, we will drink. They will not do alone. Birds of the same feather. Prabhupada says, in the sky you find parrots flying together. You've seen that? Crows fly together. In the streets also you find dogs live together. Prabhupada says dogs fight also. After fighting they again live with them only. Have you ever seen dog leaving a dog going and living with cats? You will not find that. Dogs live with dogs and humans live with, although they fight with one another, they still live with the same jati only. Similarly, we are all devotees, so we have to live with devotees. So we have to find devotees who are very inspiring to us. And their attraction to Krishna conscious things will make those things attractive for us. Yesterday, one boy was commenting, this is only Chandramali Swami Maharaj was dancing like mad. Yesterday, very powerful kirtan he did. Night. He said, hey, Maharaj has spent for practically 50 years. After 50 years, if somebody can be so ecstatic, I am convinced that Krishna consciousness works. One boy was telling, yeah, this Maharaj is now, his age is beyond 70. He's dancing like a 20-year-old boy. It's so much ecstasy. So this is triangular attraction. You understand, no? Now he also is ecstatic to dance now. He's convinced to dance after seeing a great soul. You understand, no? So that is attraction. From that attraction comes attention on something valuable. And then your mind gets absorbed over a period of time. Absorbed like a sponge. Dipped in water. You become completely absorbed. And then the awareness is a very important thing. When NVCC temple construction was going on, I used to come here sometimes to supervise. One mason, I asked him, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting the bricks and making a wall, he said. Another fellow said, I'm building a hall, he said. But third fellow said, Swamiji, I am very blessed in my life. For the first time in my life, I am making a temple for the Lord, he said. So amongst the three, who has the best awareness? First or second or third? Third fellow. So in your life also, if you do with awareness, it will be very fulfilling to heart, very satisfying. And so anything, like even the office you are going, don't see that job as a karmi job to be hated. Prabhupada says, because you are earning money from the job and giving charity to Krishna's service, so you should see that Krishna has awarded you that job. And like Arjuna also was doing his duty as a Kshatriya warrior. So like a railway line has two lines. Similarly, you have a spiritual duty and you have a material duty. Why material duty is there? Because you have a material body. If you have no material body, then there is no material duty. Imagine you are only spirit soul now. No subtle body, no gross body. You have given up everything. Then what duty you will have? Only spiritual duty. Then you return to spiritual world and you are dancing with Krishna. You have no other work. But right now we are like we have a material component, spiritual component. So we need to do material duty. So anyway, we have to do it happily without grudgingly doing it. Do it as an offering to the Lord. Like he says, Yat Karoshi, Yad Ashnasi, Yad Juhoshi, he says like that. So do it with the proper awareness. And as I told you 3 times, time for family, time for profession, time for devotion. This is a tripod. One leg you remove, it will fall. Other 2 cannot stand. See, if there is 4 legs in a stool, one if you remove also no problem. But there are only 3. Family, profession and devotion. So you cannot compromise on any of this. You have to take care of family and take care of profession, take care of devotion, all the 3. So this is good enough now. Another time when I come, I can speak more on concentration and distraction alone. On that topic, we can speak another time when I come. Srila Prabhupada ki, aur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Yes, quick. Hare Krishna.
In the purport, there was something like we should do proper eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing.
Correct.
What is fearing in that? I didn't understand.
I tell you, good question. See, he is asking in this purport. See, the secret of knowing the Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action, he says. And no one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing and mating. Now which means eating only to keep body and soul together is called pure eating. That means eating not for tongue titillation, not overeating and going to sleep, but eating and getting energy to serve Krishna. Like anybody knows in science, the word energy is defined as what? Capacity to do work. That means after eating prasad, you should do work, which is called seva. Because energy is defined as capacity to do work. If you're eating prasad, you are not serving, you are sleeping. Is that service? No. That means it goes against the definition of energy. Right? No? Like imagine motel and all, many of the drivers, they go and eat. After that, when they sit in the lorry, do they go to sleep or do they drive? If they sleep, something else will happen. There'll be an accident, correct? No? So they don't sleep. So we also, that's why pure eating means eating vegetarian food offered to Krishna with devotion, and also eaten for the purpose of keeping body and soul together, not for tongue titillation or overfilling the belly and sleeping and all that. And then similarly, pure sleeping means sleeping 6 hours a day and doing sleeping also as a service to Krishna. How we can do that? Because our body is very active all day, morning to night. So by the time evening, your body has a lot of wear and tear because of daytime doing so many activity. So when you lie down in the bed, the body gets recuperated and replenished in the night due to the metabolism, pitta secretion, and all those things happen in the body. So you are actually relaxing the body so that the body can, in the daytime you do external work. In the night time, body does internal work. It's repairing the wear and tear and everything. And then it becomes very healthy. Morning when you release the unwanted waste from the body and take a fresh bath, then again you are fit for one more day of service. So sleeping can be done as a service. But sleeping for sense gratification means even after 4 a.m., lying in the bed till 8 a.m. That is sense gratification. Correct now? Because in winter season, especially chill, cold winter, you open your blanket and say, still others are sleeping, then you also go to sleep again. Correct now? So does it give pleasure or not? It gives pleasure, surely, isn't it? On the other hand, imagine you throw away the blanket and then go to the bathroom, take a shower, and then wear tilak and wear your fresh dress, take the bead bag, go to the puja room and light up a lamp and sit and chant. Does that give pleasure or not? So what is the difference between the first pleasure and second pleasure? Yes? First is tamasic pleasure. Second one is sattvic pleasure. So first one is tamasic pleasure. It's a very horrible it is. You have not taken bath. You have not cleansed the body and brushed the teeth. You are just lying and lazy, lethargy. So therefore, pure sleep means sleeping 6 hours for replenishing the body and doing it as a service to Krishna. And similarly, fearing means unnecessarily don't injure other living beings. But if other living beings hurt you, you have the right to defend yourself. You can defend yourself. Pandavas were like that, right? Have you ever seen Pandavas waging war against somebody unnecessarily? But if Duryodhana and company will attack Pandavas, they will defend. You will see that. That is that the Indian ethos is also like that. Because of the Vedic ethos says that Jio Jenedo. Don't become like Alexander or Hitler trying to usurp everybody's thing. We don't do that. Jio Jenedo. That is actually fearing. And mating, it is actually the man-woman relationship. A brahmachari, Naishtika brahmachari is absolutely supposed to give up any kind of unnecessary wastage of the energy in the form of shukra or semen. And actually because of bad contemplation, sometimes even brahmacharis cannot maintain that purity sometimes. If they are little less and less pure, then their potency in spiritual life will also reduce because it's a vital fluid it is. It's a seventh element it is. Rasa, Rakta, Majja, Meda, Asti. Lastly it is Shukra. It is like the milk to butter. One should not unnecessarily waste it. His Holiness Gauragand Maharaj says, in my life I released the semen only 7 times and I produced 7 boys. He had, before becoming sannyasi, he had 7 sons. And that is the time I used it. That means even a grihastha can use that for the purpose of begetting children and unnecessarily not waste that energy. Because if that energy is going down, then one's vichara, what do you call it? It's called a dharana shakti, ability to grasp the spiritual subject. and the Smriti Shakti to have retentive power, and Vichara Shakti to analyze spiritual subject philosophically, Viveka Buddhi to discriminate right from the wrong, and these things will reduce by that. At the same time, according to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, the husband and wife both have to be guided by a Grihastha counselor. I mean, one requires guidance from the superiors, where one will know how. There is one particular verse in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam by Uddhava, Krishna telling to Uddhava that, Uddhava, in the Grihastha a man's attachment to woman and the children is very strong, and sometimes he curses himself that, what a fool I am not taking my spiritual life seriously. At the same time, he cannot give up the attachment. At the same time, he cannot give up Krishna also. So he's in between. So in this way, repenting oneself, a Grihastha man and woman, they should keep practicing spiritual life, keeping hope against hope, that one day, this kind of bodily allurements, attractions and all we will surpass, and then we will be able to experience Shuddha Bhakti. With that consciousness, a Grihastha should go on and on. Like that, Krishna tells Uddhava. That's a very, very beautiful verse. I can tell you the verse number also. If you want, you can go through it. It's very... Yeah. This is the one. It is... this is the verse number you can note down. 11, 20, 27. 11, 20, 27 and 28. 2 verses. You can read the purport yourself. You will... So, in the mating aspect and family attachments, what should one do with it? So, Krishna tells Uddhava very nicely in this 11, 20, 27. So, in this way, if a husband and wife both are spiritually advanced, what happens? By that, then their bodily needs are less and they can do a lot in spiritual life. See, how is it like? See, if I try to picturize what I'm telling in your mind. Say, for example, some people, when they travel with heavy luggage. You have seen that? Like one family was taking this wheel bag, 4 or 5 wheel bags they were taking. And one wheel bag was so big, like a bureau, the whole family can fit inside. Such a big thing they were carrying. Husband, everybody can put inside. Such a big thing they were taking. So, what is the, disadvantage in carrying such this thing, especially if you have to climb up the staircase in Royal Station, you have to have a porter carry that and all that. But some families travel light luggage. How many of you have seen? Correct? I'm not only telling brahmacharis. Even families can travel light luggage if they want. So that means lighter the luggage, lesser the maintenance, and more time for yourself. You agree? And bigger the luggage, bigger the expenditure, and bigger the menace, but you have the comfort. So if you want more material comfort, according to Bhagavatam, then the spiritual time and spiritual focus gets reduced. So we have to make a balance. Why you have to make a balance? I'm telling you, every one of you sitting here, you are not the same in your psychophysical nature. Your needs are different. See, somebody has a need for more material goods. If you artificially try to renounce, you will feel fear. How can anybody live like that? But I have seen some families can live with very little goods, they can live. But basic principle is maximize Krishna time, minimize Maya time. Very simple formula. Keep in mind. Yeah. So in this way, our eating, sleeping, mating, defending can be kept pure. By doing these things purely. And also, for example, eating. Don't eat in hotel, which is not offered food. It is impure food. Very dangerous. Sometimes Grihasthas say, what can we do? We can't cook at home and the ISKCON temple is far away or whatever. No. If you eat in hotel, it will be very impure. Yeah. So, in the same manner, in each of it we can talk about, similarly in the fearing also, many times we attack others out of our misunderstanding without clarifying properly. So the interpersonal clashes and all happen, that comes in fearing. So it's possible for us to make these things purer and purer. Like, one Grihastha was asking, is it all right if you worship demigods? Why to disturb Krishna unnecessarily? See, I told, Dhruva Maharaj had a material desire. To whom did he go? Did he go to some demigod? He went to Krishna only, So, even our Kardamani had a desire to marry. Whom did he go to? Actually, he told Lord Vishnu, I have to marry because my father has given me an assignment of, being a Prajapati. And I have to beget some children. But I am afraid that I will get entangled. Therefore, my Lord, he said, you only give me a wife, he said. Because if you give me a wife, if I have a problem, I will catch you. So Lord told Kardama that, hey, very intelligent fellow, very smart. So then I told this fellow same thing. Why do you go to demigods? Because great souls are, Dhruva, Kardama, they are all going to Lord for material. Even if you ask Lord for material thing, it is better than asking a material thing from a demigod. And if you leave everything to Lord and just do devotional service with firm faith that He will take care of you, that is a higher standard even. More higher standard. So thank you all very much. I have exceeded the time. Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.